family of four, it's often easier said than done. Erin Rose is a local mom and couponer, and she joins us with helpful advice. Erin, so nice to have you here. Every family, even if they aren't just four, can benefit from your tips.
Absolutely.
And you have two young kids and a husband, and you are always looking for ways to save money and to keep them happy.
Absolutely. I enjoy cooking as well, so saving money on food and being able to feed my family great meals is really wonderful.
And you coupon, and that's one of the big things that you've been on Mass Appeal for in the past, is letting people know how they can coupon and that it really, really does make a difference.
Absolutely. If you have the time and you want to put the effort into it, I would recommend that to anyone. But if you don't have the time to coupon, there are some other things that you can do to save your family some money, still be able to feed them well, and keep your house full of food and snacks and whatever you need, and you won't be spending these enormous amounts of money to do it.
Which can be easy to do because food can get pricey.
And it goes up all the time.
Especially with a family of four. So you have 5 tips. Let's go through each one. The first tip is to make a menu plan.
Yes. Every week I make a menu plan. It kind of goes hand in hand with shopping a circular. So those are 2 tips right there. I take my circular and I see what's on sale, and then I base my menu on that. So when you do that, you're buying only the things that are on sale. You have a plan. You're going to the store. You've got a list, and you're saying these are only the things I'm going to buy. So you don't end up buying things you don't need or things that might spoil if you don't use them. And those types of things.
So you know exactly what you're buying, and then you also don't, I find that if I go to the grocery store hungry, I buy everything that I don't need. So have that plan, have a full belly, and stick to the meal plan.
Stick to your list. If you don't, you're going to waste money. If you have your ingredients listed, everything like that, you just go there, you buy what you need, boom, you're done. You go home and you've got everything you need for the week, and you don't waste money, and you don't waste food.
So you base your menu plan on the circulars and what's on sale.
Right.
That way you've got it all planned out, and you don't have to worry about buying more than you need.
Exactly.
All right, now your next tip is to buy meat in bulk and freeze it.
Yes. Larger families, it's easier to do something like that. When you're going to a grocery store, meat is very, very expensive. When you go through a wholesale company and you buy in bulk, you get a cheaper price per poundage, you know, whatever kind of meat you're buying, and then you just break it up. Like I go home, I break it up into 1, 2 pound packets, whatever I need, and I freeze them. It's a lot easier to do it that way because, I mean, it's a little more work for the mom, but
not that much more, but
you're saving money.
A lot of money, and it'll last for a while in the freezer, so you might as well save money, buy it in bulk, and you know you're going to use it, especially when you're making meals for your family.
Exactly.
And beef, chicken, and pork, and turkey, all those things that you have in your freezer, you know you're going to cook it up for them. All right, you can also make the meat go further by adding to it. What do you mean by this?
Well, anything like veggies, beans, things like that, you can add into your meals, and instead of, you know, having 2 pounds of meat in a meal, you can use 1 pound and then stretch it by adding things like, for example, my taco meat. I make a pound of ground beef, but then I'll add a can of diced tomatoes and a can of black beans. So that way I've got enough for my tacos, but then I'll have leftovers I can use on a salad, for lunch, burritos, maybe even make another meal out of it. So I could possibly get 2 meals out of 1 pound of meat just by adding a couple cans that maybe cost me 50 cents.
That is such a good idea. I've never thought of that. Right, you just, because usually you're making tacos, you just think, okay, I'll cook up the taco meat. But when you add to it, that does make double the amount.
Yeah, absolutely.
For your family.
Yep.
That makes perfect sense without spending as much money as you would for 2 pounds of meat. Now let's talk about the staples. This is when couponing, I'm sure, really, really benefits you because you can stock up.
You always want to have staples on hand. Whenever you find a really good deal, even if you don't coupon, you know, you find pastas, sauces, chicken broths, anything like that at rock bottom prices. They've got really, really long shelf lives. Just keep them on hand, buy 3 or 4. You can always whip up a quick meal, you know, just a pasta and sauce, a soup, like anything, really. There's so many different options out there, but when you have those staples, you can really just throw anything together. And always try to buy them when they're rock bottom price. That way you're not paying, oh, last minute I've got to go get this because it's the one ingredient I don't have for my meal, and then you're paying more money in the end. And
then you also have a stockpile in your basement, so you have shelves, so it's all organized, so you always have room to buy it and keep it there.
Absolutely, and I just rotate them, so I'm always using, you know, the oldest product. But something like a pasta, I mean, that has a 4 or 5 year shelf life. You'll use it long before it ever goes bad. So stock up when it goes on sale. These are great tips, Erin. We'll have all of them on our website as well later today. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you.
Helpful tips.